Well, again, I think the plan right now is working in four parts. One is a legal strategy to stop him from violating the separation of powers, from violating our civil service laws, civil rights laws, and we're winning. We see 41 cases being taken, 10 of them last week, 12 of them, excuse me, were successful in stopping some of his illegal actions. The next is a legislative and oversight effort to really try to expose it, not to treat this as Democrat versus Republican, right or left, but really right or wrong, and continue to try to use our positions procedurally as well as legislatively to stop what he's doing. And then finally, perhaps most importantly, because all of us have to have a role, from the media to everyday citizens, which is shining a light on the dark corners of what they're doing and how it is actually endangering Americans' lives, is threatening to raise the cost of people's everyday goods and inflation and more. We've been successful in the past, from turning up the heat on him to stopping him from tearing away health care in his first administration, to even when he did one of those awful illegal acts of trying to stop government funding of our first responders, our veterans, our meal programs. The outrage of Americans actually stopped them from what they were doing, and then our legal strategy further put a bar on their ability to stop sourcing and funding vital resources for communities. Again, I've been blown away by what I'm seeing by everyday citizens joining together and beginning to shine a much better light on what's happening. Take USAID and the efforts last week to show that what the Trump administration has done is make Americans less safe from diseases like Ebola or treatment-resistant tuberculosis, taking away scientists on the front line of fighting these infectious diseases, because we know infectious diseases anywhere are a threat to human safety everywhere. And so a lot of the things that Trump is doing, that some of the biggest officials in our state, like, remember Secretary Mattis, his defense secretary, saying very bluntly, if you cut these kind of programs in the State Department, buy me more bullets, because it's going to mean that we're going to use military more. By shining a light on these things, by elevating, as we've seen online this past week, literally hundreds of millions of shares and likes exposing what's going on, this is giving us more strength in actually stopping him from doing what he's doing. Look, the Republican Party has shown year after year that they're the party of shutdowns, they're the party of government chaos, they're the party that can't even within their own ranks pass these funding bills. And that's why, as you said, they're going to need us. What we are the party of is a party of protecting residents, protecting veterans, protecting first responders, protecting American safety from his illegal actions like shutting down FEMA. I mean, just think about that for a second. Or shutting down something like NOAA in a time of outrageous weather patterns that are causing flooding and more hurricanes. They are dismantling the protections of Americans' safety. So we're not looking to shut down the government. We're looking actually to protect people, and we're going to stand up against the kind of things that Donald Trump is doing that are hurting Americans, making us less safe and raising costs. Let me just put it pointedly. The strategy is to do whatever we can to stop Donald Trump from hurting Americans, from making us less safe, less secure, and from raising our costs. We will look at every single tool in our toolbox, as we've done this last week, to make sure that we stop him from hurting people. At the end of the day, Donald Trump has promised America, I will bring down your costs and I'll make you safer. He clearly is doing the opposite. In addition to that, he's opening the floodgates for corruption in our system, from getting rid of inspector generals who have a track record under Democrat and Republican presidents of saving Americans billions of dollars from waste, fraud, and abuse, to letting Elon Musk, one of our biggest government contractors, one of our biggest military contractors, have access to America's most personal information, from your grandparents' medical information all the way down to people's social security information and other things. This is an astonishing allowance of corruption and abuse and violations of people's privacy and other most sacrosanct values. We are in a crisis right now, and Democrats will use every tool possible to protect Americans, to drive down costs, to make us safer. These are the very opposite that Donald Trump is doing to Americans right now.